thank you for taking a few moments to become better informed. I have produced this field measurement segment of our instructional video in order to provide both the consumer and contending contractors a platform in which to entertain, compare, and process requests for proposals, or as many refer to as getting an estimate or a bid. Taking accurate field measurements will be one of the most important contributions in providing or receiving a valid estimate. All of the swimming pool's dimensions should be reflected as in this sample diagram: the pool's length, width, perimeter lineal footage, together with the calculated square footage of the surface area. Additionally, the lineal footage runs from the pool to the equipment pad, as well as the lineal footage runs for gas, electric, and water supply from the utility meters or the home's point of connections to the equipment pad. If a spa is being considered, then the length and width measurements should be expressed as well as the depth, together with whether the spa is flush with the decking or raised above. If the spa is to be raised, then the wall thickness and heights of the raised spa wall should be accounted for. Further considerations involve identifying the spa's maximum depth, as well as the height of the spa's seats in the interior space. The quantity, locations, and manufacturer of spa jets should be indicated, and it should be considered if the spa is to be connected or separate from the pool. If it is connected, having a spillway and expressing the dimensions for the spillway should be noted. If the spa or portions of the pool have a raised bond beam section, then these raised walls will require steel reinforcements, gunite or shotcrete, together with topical applications such as tile. These most often involve tile products, so the length and height measurements will be required in order to apply these considerations to the estimate. In expressing these requirements, the waterline tile, step tile, and seating tiles would also be accounted for involving the pool and spa. Additionally, tiles as well as other products come in different grades. Depending upon the product and grade selection, the pricing of each will be affected accordingly. The gunite or shotcrete product estimated volume will involve projecting the required application that will fulfill the thickness and configuration requirements that have been called for on the approved engineering schedule. This volume will be measured in either a tonnage weight or a volume of cubic yardage unit. In estimating the volume of a swimming pool or spa, the walls, bottom, steps, seats, swim-outs, and any raised bond beam sections must equate the square footage of the surface area with the required thickness in order to assess the total volume that will be required. In concluding these computations for the measurements, a gunite or shotcrete tonnage or volume can be understood, and the origin of the estimate will have a cost anchored in factual accounting. When estimating the pool or spa's plastering areas, the gunite or shotcrete surface measurements can be applied, excluding the areas intended for tile, of course. The surface area square footage will be the basis for determining the estimated cost, together with the selection of the desired product. Plaster is generally a swimming pool industry terminology that refers to a refined form of white concrete mixed into a paste, which is then applied over the gunite or shotcrete shell. Additives such as silicone, quartz, and a variety of colors, together with another approach called an exposed aggregate application, can be applied. This specialty product comes in varying colors as well, and multiple sized aggregate stones. It generally can double approximately the cost of a standard plastering project, but it has become popularized as a plastering alternative over the recent years. Additionally, in some cases, portions of a pool can be plastered and portions can be exposed aggregates, such as a Caribbean shelf, if desired. In estimating the excavation volumes of a swimming pool project, several factors will weigh into the considerations. The square footage size and depth of the pool are the basis for calculations, but related contributions for calculating volume have to do with the geotechnical composition of the existing subsoil strata beneath the pool. Soils are made up of three primary components: silt, sand, and clay. Depending upon the percentage of distribution within an excavated area's soil's volume, each of these soil components will represent a proportional part of the soil. And, depending upon the percentage being represented by each, the accumulative total will identify the USDA soil classification standard. Understanding the soil's composition will help you to better understand the work scope and also better qualify what is to be made inclusive, or what is unknown and is being identified as an exclusion. As an example, excavation of rock subsoil strata where blasting is required will result in essentially excavating to the level of the rock, making blasting preparations, covering the rock sufficiently with a thick layer of bedded soil, and then detonating the explosive charge. This type of excavation can result in generating 2 to 3 times the volume of rock and dirt spoils to be removed, and therefore will result in more equipment, more manpower, and more trucking haul-off time. If breakers and/or jackhammers are involved while removing rock, then the same set of variables may play a role, although the spoils volume will not require covering the blast zone with soil. So, this will save you about 1/3 of the volume that would be removed by blasting, thus netting you about 2 times the volume that could be calculated from the dimensions for an excavated pit in normal excavation soil conditions. This concludes our introduction to estimating measurements. As first touched upon at the beginning of this segment, I explained that in order to have accountability, the work scope must be accounted for and expressed as a requirement. In determining what is to be made inclusive on an estimate, it requires identifying the probable elements of inclusion and evaluating the performance involvement as the measurements define the necessity of a commitment. I have prepared this segment of our estimating series to provide the consumer a model for how to formulate estimating expectations when soliciting multiple contending performers. The key to attaining the best price is to know what the best price is actually buying. Please watch for our ongoing series of informational presentations on swimming pool pumping, filtering, heating, controls, and other video instructional orientations. Thank you on behalf of Earth Dynamic Poolscapes.